longer more like that they had handles. That's fine. Hey, I need that. No!
So one of the cool things in Robo Recall, Seth made that system in Blueprint that does the physics interaction. One of the things I really liked about it is how it demonstrates the sort of tight sound design you can get when you combine direct in-engine implementation with sound design. So the next video is more of a combat. That was like sort of a white box just demoing interaction without tons of crazy stuff going on. Like most things you're going to see of Robo Recall is going to have about 6,000 things trying to play audio. That was like just focus on the interaction. This is a more of a traditional sort of video of gameplay.
Not good. Not good. It's happy to serve. Stop it! Hey, easy, easy. You got it.
Maybe you need to put it on this.
Save that. Oh,
There we go. So before you push play, here, let me just set it up.
Okay.
So this is basically going to be a reverb demo. It's actually a trumpet playing because we were trying to figure out what a cool source would be to give it a good sense of like massive giant reverb. And the trumpet player is myself, so I thought it'd be a great way to self-aggrandizement myself. And as he gets closer, the key thing to listen to is it gets dry, and it just listen to the quality of the reverb. So you see as it gets close, the reverb tail gets right next to it. So it gets more reverberant the further away you get. It's a huge effect for creating a sense of three-dimensionality. And it's just a parametric reverb. So while I put this together, I was like, hey, this is a great opportunity to segue into the future of audio in UE4. So what's hooked up to this is the new Dsp Effects System. So Dan can dynamically just switch on some source effects. So we have a couple source effects that we can demo. The first one is a phaser effect. So you can hear it going through a phaser. And he can toggle them on and off. The next one is a ring modulator, which is a really fun effect. Also, while we're mentioning it, you notice the little shader I wrote is lighting up. I have an itch here. It keeps lighting up according to the audio. That's actually a source effect that's getting an envelope of the audio, and then in Blueprint you can register a delegate to actually get the amplitude of the audio and just drive a shader. So he's toggled it off. This is the stereo delay effect. Do we have another one? I forget. The chorus effect. So this is the chorus effect. All of these are parametrically driven, can be driven from Blueprint live and in Content Browser. So you can actually tweak your effects in the Content Browser. So he has a mode where you can toggle a timeline that's just going to make it go nuts. So This is all parametrically driven by an automatic timeline. Make it sound crazy. So it's pretty cool. Basically, we have DSP effects, and they're really easy to make. All of these effects that I just showed you are in an external plugin. They're not core to the engine. I intentionally wrote them all external to the engine. UMG, which is our interface, which is the tool to write your own custom interfaces in UE4. This was made, I would say, 2 or 3 weeks ago by Dan on a Sunday. He's going to change the waveform here. So now it's a square wave tone.
How about this?
Blends between the oscillators.
We could do
Detune kind of makes the oscillators go slightly out of tune with each other, which is the sort of like awesome 80s sound. Glide is the sort of portamento going between notes. It has all the things you want in a synthesizer. Add some effects.
okay.
Gotta get some reverb in there.
Okay.
There you go.
How about delay?
That little delay, just touch a little. So you could play this for hours.
Yeah.
So what's cool about this is that we have it hooked up. This also implicit here is MIDI support. This is MIDI into Blueprint. Dan's an awesome piano player, but we also wanted to show MIDI playback, like actual compositions played back to not only demo the new timing capabilities of the audio engine. So he's actually going to play some Bach. Being able to control tempo in real time. And you can change the parameters in real time. And change the filter type. There you go. Make it clicky so that low attack explodes.
All right.
There you go. There you go. So he's changing the granular density to make it lower density, short duration grain. So what he has going on is one of the knobs on his slider is controlling the duration of the grain, so he can kind of make it go. The other knob is scrubbing where he is in the file. The other knob is controlling the density of the grain, so that's how he's able to go like. One of them is controlling the pitch. I actually have it flipping between +1 and -1, so you can get reversing effects. And then the bottom 4 knobs are controlling real-time source effects, because why not? So one of them is the filter, another one is a delay effect, and then the last one is a phaser wet level. And of course, it's hooked up to the source effect feedback for the envelope following so that it can light up when it lights up, which is pretty cool. So I think that's also pretty dang cool to see a granulator in a game engine in such a situation. So yeah, come on and check it out. So this is all real-time synthesis here. He has a knob that controls like the intensity of the alarms. So these are practical applications of source effects. He uses a granulator, and then some source effects to emulate broken radio sound.
You are in violation of space treaty.
This is using the chorus effect.
Please lower your force fields and prepare to be boarded.
Ring modulation.
In ring modulation, yep. This is applications of granular synthesis. This is one file that's being scrubbed and parameterized according to the effect. Dan liked the way it stopped when the water ended. Compile, hot load, and then your synth components available in blueprints, and you can then go to town writing your DSP library. So Dan is going to, this is totally risky, we're going, so hopefully it'll work. Dan will show the steps to making your own synthesizer from scratch.
All right. Way up.
So he goes up, this is where you would go to create a new C++ class. There's default parent classes that show up, but that's not set up to be a default, so just go to show all classes and then type synth component. You'll see the modular synth shows up there, because it's called modular synth component, whatever. And just say create class. My synth component's fine for our purposes. Wait a little bit. We were thinking about making some music for this section. It's a little bit annoying to wait, but you can look at the compiling C++ code button. So the idea here is I made a map in the background that he'll just be able to slot this new synthesizer in. What it's doing is the sort of hello world of synthesis. It's basically a new class that just plays a sine wave tone that lets you set the frequency of the sine wave tone. I kind of created your own, like a sort of blueprint thing. So if you actually double click yeah, you can show it. So this is the code that actually is created by the code gen. If you hold control and then middle mouse up, you can zoom in.
Yeah.
There you go. He's not a programmer, so he doesn't know. Basically, if you scroll down there, you'll see the on-generate audio. That's feeding out just floats. There's no like dealing with PCM data or anything, that's just floats. You see right there, set frequency. That's using a sort of helper thing I created, which is pushing a lambda. Be very careful about lambdas, but this lets you so you not have to worry about threading or anything. You just do the thing you want to do on the blueprint function. That's pretty much it, set frequency. I'm using an oscillator class that I use for the subtractive synth, so you can just tear it apart and do whatever you want with it. But that's basically all this is, and he'll actually show you how to use it in the level. So this is the blueprint I have set up with some comments here. But basically, he just needs to add a component. His synth shows up. Notice he hasn't restarted the editor, which I think is awesome, hot load. So he just calls set frequency here and connects it to the event that I have hooked up. This, by the way, is going to play some Sporian procedural music sort of ideas. Little melody generator, random notes of a major scale. And then what he does down there is just set up the attenuation structure, so it's 3D, and then he just starts it off. And then all he has to do now is push play. There you go. Yeah, so I made a silly little map that has instances of these blueprints just playing the melodies and lighting up these little orbs with color. It's totally 3D, spatialized, plugged in, has reverb, everything ready to go. And like, if you are a synth writer, this is a pretty cool way to write your synthesis. So the way hot loading works is that you could actually now iterate on your code, try things out, save it, and it'll reload and hot load your synthesizer. So you could literally be writing your C++ code in the context of UE4. I'm going to say it, that's pretty cool. I'm pretty proud of that. So when I was envisioning this back last summer, I was like, this is going to be my mic drop demo. I'm totally going to do this on the stage. But I have one more cool thing to show. So that would be normally like, and I'm done, and like take off, right? But we have Steam Audio. Steam Audio is awesome. So the story of this real quick is back in December, I got contacted by the people from Impulse Sonics. Impulse Sonics we have Clint Freeman in the front row. Impulse Sonics is awesome. They've been one of the greatest sort of third-party tech vendors to work with, and it's been frustrating because I've been like, sorry, I can't really support your thing in the audio, and just wait for the new audio engine. They contact me in December, and they say, hey, Valve bought us. So you're hearing the audio going over that little thing. So you're hearing reflections off the surfaces around you. When he walks out into the open area, there isn't very many surfaces and it sounds much drier. As it comes into the tunnel, it'll sound like it's colored by the tunnel. So stop by our booth to get it with headphones so you can really